Welcome to Main Street Mavericks, celebrating conversations with exceptional Main Street businesses who serve friends and neighbors in your community. Here's your host, Joel Helfer.
This is Joel Helfer from Main Street Mavericks Radio, and welcome to another episode. Today we have a very special guest. His name is Nathan Hirsch, and Nathan is the founder and CEO of freeup.com from Winter Park, Florida. Nathan is a serial entrepreneur and an expert in remote hiring and e-commerce, and he's also the co-founder of Portlight. Nathan started his e-commerce career on the Amazon marketplace and very successfully, I might add, built a $7 million business within 4 years. After seeing the potential of hiring remote workers within his own business, he founded FreeUp to make the remote hiring experience simpler for all e-commerce business owners. FreeUp now provides reliable e-commerce workers to hundreds of clients around the world. Nathan is an expert at building efficient systems and processes, sales strategies, and business management, and his specialty is remote hiring and e-commerce. Good afternoon, Nathan, and welcome to the show.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure, and I'm very interested to find out a little bit about remote hiring. What actually is remote hiring, and what do you do for people?
Yeah, so I've done it both ways. I've hired in-house employees, and I've hired people remotely. And in my opinion, there are a lot of benefits for any business to hire remote workers opposed to in-house. And that doesn't mean that you can't have a combination of both. But there's a lot of overhead costs with having employees and having people that come to your office every day and just owning an office in general. Plus, there's a lot of tax implications, a lot of managing that goes into it. So having the ability to add remote workers to your team helps to speed up your business, lower costs, and it can also get you access to a higher talent pool. If you're only hiring in Winter Park, Florida, for example, you're very limited on who you can hire. But if you make your company available to people all over the world, all over the U.S., with different talents and different skill set, you really open your business up to a lot of talent. So there are a lot of reasons to add remote workers to your team if you haven't done so already.
That's fascinating. As a former business owner where I used to do business locally, now we're involved in a national and an international business. If I was a business owner and I wanted to use your services, how would I go about it?
Sure. So we have our website, freeup.com with 3 E's, and it's pretty easy. It's free to sign up. There's no monthly fees or anything like that. You become a client right on the site, and from there you get access to our network of workers. And what's cool about our network is instead of the normal job boards where you go on and you post a job and you get 100 people apply to you and you have to filter through them, we get lots of applicants a week, hundreds every week. And we interview them ourselves. We have a very strict, rigorous interview process that I created myself based on 7 years of hiring. We have 15 pages of communication guidelines that our workers have to memorize and get tested on because we know how important communication is, especially if they're not in the same office. And then the top 1% that make it into our network, we make available to our clients on a first-come, first-served basis. So that's what's cool about being a client of FreeUp is you get access to the top 1% talent pool from all over the world at your fingertips without having to go through the HR process.
You know, let's say I was a business owner who was just swamped, and I wanted to hire what today they call a virtual assistant to help me. Is that something you could provide?
Yeah, we do that all the time. And my advice to our clients is to create a list of everything you do on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis. Put it in order from easiest to hardest and really start at the bottom and start to chip away taking stuff off your plate because every business owner runs out of time in the day or in the week. There's always an endless to-do list. And if you can take off the smaller tasks and start working your way up and start outsourcing or giving work to remote workers more and more, it's only going to help speed up the acceleration of your business and have you grow faster. So that's what we're all about, is really helping clients do that but it also works on the other end. So you can start at the bottom and take easy stuff off your plate, but if you're a business owner that wants to expand, and let's say you have a website and you want to get more traffic to it, you might want to hire a remote marketing expert or a remote social media manager at a high level. So you can kind of attack your business at both sides to help you expand faster.
You remind me of a guy who I listened to and studied from named Perry Marshall. And Perry Marshall used to say that as a business owner, you should spend your time doing $100 an hour work and outsource the $10 an hour work to somebody else.
Exactly. I'm all about valuing time. I mean, I value my own time at a very high level. I encourage my clients to value theirs as well. Everything you're doing with your business should be focused on sales and marketing. If you're not doing sales and marketing, you really need to figure out a way to make your systems and processes better, so that's where you can spend your time.
I know that's what I try to do, and that's really the purpose of what we're doing with this radio show, is giving people an opportunity to do sales and marketing at a high level where they get attention and exposure about their businesses and what they're all about. Because there's so much noise in the world today that the old-fashioned system of just having a conversation actually helps people and works well. What's some of the misconceptions people have about remote employees that they shouldn't be thinking about?
Yeah, so everyone hears the word outsource and they kind of get turned off, and that's why we offer both U.S. and non-U.S. workers. But just like we do have workers that are $5 an hour that do lower-end tasks, the majority of our workers are not like that. And you would be paying more, but you're also getting a higher level worker. And we also have an option between U.S. and non-U.S. workers. So just because you're outsourcing doesn't mean every single worker is going to get paid $3 an hour. There's a other side of it. The cost of living on their side is way less than it is on ours. But hiring remotely is not the same thing as outsourcing. So that's a common misconception that I try to teach my client is, yeah, you get access to U.S. and non-U.S. workers. Everyone's business is at a different point of what you can afford and what you can't afford, and everyone's business needs something different, whether it is at lower level or you might have a Google PPC expert that's in the Philippines that I would put up against any U.S. expert. So there's a lot of different ways you can go about it without just paying bottom dollar, and you kind of get what you pay for depending on where you find your workers.
If you were a novice and you wanted to start a career, would there be a place for you as a remote worker at your company, or do you need to have experience first before you can even apply?
Yeah, we're definitely looking for people with experience. I mean, we try to keep our workers to the top 1%. But if you're someone that has been a freelancer for a while or has worked for a marketing company or has an e-commerce background and you have something that you can contribute at a high level to our clients, and you're willing to communicate at a high level and follow our policies and keep our clients' information safe, then you should definitely apply right on our website at FreeUp. I mentioned we do get a lot of applicants, and I'm not the one handling the interview process. I have a team that does that. But I definitely encourage you to apply, and we want the best of the best part of our team.
It's interesting. What's the difference between e-commerce and what you're doing with this remote hiring? What did you do in e-commerce that made you so successful in such a short period of time?
Yeah, so I got into e-commerce. It was kind of lucky. I was a broke college kid looking for extra beer money, and I started buying and selling people's textbooks at the end of the year so they wouldn't get ripped off at the bookstore. And if the bookstore was offering $5 for a book, I would offer $20, and then I would sell it the next semester for $80 or $100 or whatever the markup was. And so I started making a good amount of money on textbooks, but there were a bunch of cons to selling textbooks. You have to carry around textbooks all day, which wasn't that much fun. And at the time, I thought the textbook industry was going to go out of business pretty soon, which it hasn't yet, but that's what I thought the direction it was heading was. So I started selling these books on Amazon opposed to selling different bookstores, and that's what really got me into Amazon to begin with. And I became obsessed with Amazon. I started buying products from different deal sites and reselling them there whenever people would have flash sales or different online deals that were below the price on Amazon. And you have to remember, back when I started, there were a few sellers on every listing, and I was one of them, whereas now there's thousands and thousands of sellers all over the place. So it was a little bit of a different atmosphere to be selling in, but I eventually migrated from textbooks to deal sites to retailers to manufacturers and distributors using the dropship motto, which I wouldn't actually touch any products. Customers would buy products from me. I would get it shipped from the manufacturer right to them, so I could run it out of my college dorm room. And I would handle any kind of customer service on the back end, so the manufacturers didn't have to. So it was really a win-win across the board. And I was able to build a multi-million-dollar Amazon business out of my college dorm room just doing that.
Are you still doing that today?
It is. It's on autopilot. So most of my time is spent on free up. I do practice what I preach. My Amazon store is run by a team of remote workers, and I try to help my other clients do the same thing. And I mean, I personally enjoy free up a lot more. I get to meet more people. I'm pretty confident that if I spent all my time in my Amazon business, I could make a lot of money. But with free up, I get to meet awesome people like you and clients and make different connections and really help other businesses. So on a personal level, it's a lot more rewarding.
Well, thank you for the compliment. I can understand this is a very unique service, and it's something, because I've been in different businesses for a long time, that every businessman needs, because the hardest thing is just to put an ad in the paper looking for an employee, and you don't know what you get half the time.
Exactly, and that's really the issue that we're trying to fix is a lot of business owners, they don't know how to hire properly. And I mean, if you come up with a great idea, the last thing that you want to happen is for your great idea to go down the toilet because you made a few bad hires along the way. And that's really what we want to help people avoid.
And how do you differentiate yourself from the normal, like, staffing company? Or I remember in my when I retired from the glass and glazing business, which I was in for 40 years, I made the mistake one day of going into a staffing experience environment where I walked in and there was like 30 or 40 guys that are half my age, and they put you in front of a computer and you had to qualify with certain skills, and it was really a humbling experience because I had no business being in that place. But that's not, it doesn't seem like that's the way you do it at all.
Yeah, well, there's a few differences. First of all, we're all remote. So, I mean, I don't know any staffing companies that are remote in the sense that we are. We are focused around e-commerce, although I have plenty of non-e-commerce clients. And the other side of it is we're protection for our workers. So our workers rarely quit. But if they do, we cover all retraining costs. We get you a new worker right away, and we make sure you never take a step backwards. So unlike a staffing company that might fill the position and then back away and make money off you, we're very hands-on along the process. You always have someone to go to if there's issues. If anyone breaks any of our policies or quits or anything like that, you're protected. So we save you time on the front end, and we stand by our word and protect you on the back end.
And how do you work with the actual clients who hire your employees? Would they pay you a fee or a percentage of the salary? How does that work?
Yeah, so we don't have any employees. They're all contractors. The way we work is we charge an hourly rate. So there's no sign-up fee. There's no monthly fee. If we tell you a worker is $10 an hour, you pay $10 an hour, nothing else. And that's essentially it. Our workers pay us commission to find them work. So there's no fixed price up front. You continue to pay free up. If you have 10 workers through us, you get one invoice each week, and the workers pay us commission on their side.
Oh, it's the reverse. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I like that concept. That's a little different than what I'm, used to or been exposed to, where it's the other way, where you pay the actual staffing company as opposed to the workers pay you the commission. And just for round numbers, approximately how many people do you have that you can, in your inventory, if you want to call it that today, how many people are remote workers for freeup.com?
Right now we have around 250 workers and growing.
Oh, that's a nice number. How long have you been in FreeUp? How long has it been since you started the company?
We started almost 2 years ago.
Oh, and then you work in, is there any particular specialty that right now you consider yourself better at than others, that people are looking to use your services?
I mean, my background is e-commerce, so anything Amazon, eBay, Shopify, all that stuff. That's how we started, and that's our core. But we've been gradually growing to the point where we do graphic design and customer service and marketing and helping people sell on or helping people with whatever their business is, whether it's real estate or lawyers, all that stuff. So we're really expanding rapidly. The one thing we don't do right now is bookkeeping and a lot of coding, but it's something that we're going to get more and more into over the next year or so.
And What's the best way for people to get more information about you? How do they find out about what you do?
Sure. So I'm pretty easy to contact. You can go on freeup.com. You can find us on social media. You can find us on Skype. We have a live chat. We're very easy to contact. You can actually book an appointment with me, a free consultation right on our website. I love talking to business owners and learning about what's going well and what's not and how I can help. And you can, like I said, you can sign up right on our website. It's free. We're all about finding a way to get you remote workers that you like, that you want to work with long term. And if you're happy and the worker's happy, then we're happy. So that's really what we're all about.
One thing today, which is a big problem for a lot of people, is handling or mishandling technology, because a lot of people have good ideas, but when it comes to actually putting them in practice, they can't load their information on their website. They don't know how to create a webinar, a teleseminar, or for that matter, do pretty much of anything. Do you have people who can help them with those type of services?
Yeah, so I mean, everyone is different at what they're good at and what they're not. I have people that are straight marketing people, but they need help building the initial site. Or I have someone who might be a little bit older and they know how to sell millions of dollars via real estate, but they don't know how to download anti-software on their computer, and we can help them with that. So with me as a business owner, it doesn't really matter what you're good at and what you're not good at. You should surround yourself with people that are good at what you're not good at, because most people aren't good at everything. I know I'm good at sales and I'm good at customer service. That's my background. But when it comes to creating content or running our blog or building our WordPress site, I have a partner and I've got other workers and I practice what I preach, and I really surround myself with other people that have complementary skill sets so that everything gets done at a high level and it's not me doing things or me learning things that I'm not really qualified to do.
Do you have a favorite story about how you help someone who is in big trouble or help them solve their problems to run their business better?
So one of my first clients, you can actually see the testimonial right on freeup.com. He came to me in a little bit of a mess. He had built this Amazon store that was making a good amount of money, but he wasn't sleeping. He wasn't spending time with his family. Orders were getting shipped late. There were cancellations. There were customer emails that had issues that weren't getting answered. And we really just broke down his business into different teams and different departments and put different workers in charge, and really helped optimize his entire business. And you can read the entire testimonial on freeup.com and the case study and kind of go through and see how we helped him. And we've had a lot of similar stories. I mean, that's Amazon, and that happens to me, might be my background, but we've helped a lot of different business owners from a lot of different backgrounds do very similar things.
You know, normally I don't do this. I don't interject my own personal situation when I'm talking to people on the radio, but I have a situation, and it's curious because this situation could be appropriate for other people listening to this, is I use LinkedIn as a way of attracting prospects and clients. As a matter of fact, that's how you and I are talking today, and it's a very good medium. It used to be automated, but now they've taken that process away. So I have to contact people manually, and I have a very good messaging system that I use to get people to pick up the phone and call me and maybe get interviewed on the radio or other things I do. And it's something that's very teachable because it's very easy to do. Is that something where I could hire somebody, or you could get me somebody to do that for me? Because I'm spending like 2-3 hours a day doing it, and it's not the best and highest use of my time.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very typical virtual assistant thing for my clients to hire workers to do. I mean, you can get a worker from $5 to $10 an hour, train them to do your system or your process, and have them do it over and over. And what you'll find is a lot of these workers have done this before for a very long period of time in different industries, and they might actually bring something to the table to help you improve the process you already have. So not only are they doing the work, but they can also contribute ideas and obviously with your approval, implement them.
Yeah, because that's something that would be, I find that particular medium very useful in getting what I call high-level prospects who will actually, it's the only platform I found where that, not that I'm promoting LinkedIn, but I'm just telling you my experience, it's the only platform I found where people will actually schedule a call and pick up the phone and talk to you, which to me is, there's only two ways to do business, either on the phone or in person. even though everybody in the world's trying to tell you today that you can be impersonal on the internet and make a lot of money, I haven't found that to be the case. So a system like you're having would be very advantageous to get people at a reasonable rate, because it's, how do you compare to like somebody like a Craigslist or somebody like that? How does your system compare to that, where people are always looking for employees?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of Craigslist, even Craigslist that has both a good and a bad reputation, I try not to comment on my competition. I mean, I can only speak for my workers and how high quality they are and how much time and effort I put into making sure that they're high quality. I know a lot of people who have had a great experience on Craigslist. They find someone to put tile down in their house at a very cheap price, and it worked out great with no issues. But I've also heard a lot of horror stories as well. So, I mean, the difference is we do everything possible to prevent the horror stories and to make sure it's a good experience, whereas Craigslist, anyone can post a job and or apply to a job or a posting, and you never really know what you're going to get.
Yeah, well, all I was trying to do was highlight the advantages that you offer to the marketplace, and it seems to me that you offer a lot of advantage over the normal, typical way people. As a matter of fact, today people don't even know where to go look for people. You know, it's a big problem. Plus, you do any education where you tell people that they're either doing too much or trying to do everything themselves, which seems to be an old myth with computer and internet technology, where everybody thinks you can do everything by yourself when you really can't.
Yeah, so we have consultants ready to go. That upper tier of workers, I mentioned that we have workers from $5 to $50 an hour. That $20 to $50 an hour range is mostly consultants and project managers that can help you organize your time or audit your business or go start something that maybe you're not doing, whether it's social media marketing or Google AdWords or email click campaigns, all that stuff. So what's cool about us is we have no minimums. You can hire a consultant for an hour to just go over your business, talk about it, hear different ideas and suggestions. You can also hire them to go over your business piece by piece and come up with a game plan, and if you want, execute that game plan and implement it going forward. So you kind of have access to the doers, and then you have access to the builders and the experts as well.
I'm sure every case is different, but on average, once someone applies as a business owner to work with you, approximately how long does it take before you find someone that can help them?
Yeah, so one thing to keep in mind, we're not a recruitment agency. It's not like you tell us what you need and we go find it. We're very fast. If you sign up, we can have you a worker within 24 hours, depending on the time of the day, within a few hours or sometimes even minutes. So we're really that fast. It obviously depends on the worker's schedule. If you sign up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and they're meeting with another client until 4, you might meet them at 4. But we're really fast filling worker requests 99% of the time. And if it is something crazy, something we wouldn't normally recruit for, you always have the option of having us recruit for free. And if you like someone, great, you can hire them. If not, no commitment. But over 99% of the time, we have these workers ready to go. We fill almost every request same day.
Oh, that's great, particularly for a business owner, because the nature of business today is so fast, it's not even funny. And sometimes you need help. And the biggest problem I have with the people I talk to is most people need help and don't even know it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I mean, every business owner needs help. No one gets to the top without other people helping them along the way. That's just unrealistic.
And what specifically would you recommend to people to start out with you? How would you recommend that they begin the process? What do they have to do?
Yeah, I mean, there's two ways. If you like what you heard and you want to get going with a worker and you know what you want, you can sign up as a client on our site and request your worker right away. The whole process takes less than 10 minutes. If you would rather talk to me first, or you have questions I didn't answer, or you can't find it on our website, go to my calendar, which is right on the site, freeup.com. Schedule a time with me. I'm more than happy to talk to you and answer every single question you have. And if you're happy, you can sign up. So that's really the two ways to go about it.
Oh, that's excellent. And what are you available, like Monday to Friday, or is this available 7 days a week? Because I know some people need workers on the weekend.
I am not available 7 days a week, although my girlfriend would tell you otherwise. But my calendar, it shows when I'm available and when I'm not, and I have assistants that work on weekends. So if there's anything urgent, we have our clients covered at all times.
Oh, that's fantastic. Is this a national business or an international business?
Yeah, we're international. We have plenty of U.S. and non-U.S. clients and workers.
Oh, that's fantastic. This is definitely something that I'm interested in doing for themselves, and I think anybody or any of the audience that's listening to this is something that you should really take advantage, because freeup.com seems to me like you have a very organized, well-thought-out system that's unique, and that's what we talk about when we talk about having Main Street Mavericks, someone that thinks a little bit out of the box. Is there anything that you would like people to remember, or one key phrase or statement or things that you'd like them to remember today about your business?
Yeah, and we kind of already talked about it, but I can't stress enough to value your time. I mean, that's the biggest thing as a business owner. No one gets to the top without other people helping them, and very few business owners survive long-term working 80 to 100-hour work days or work weeks. So you really have to figure out what you're good at and spend your time there and get other people into your business that can help with the other stuff.
And is this something where you actually can help people organize their business? Because sometimes there's a difference of opinion if there's more than one partner in the firm, and do you actually sit down and work with people and try to get them to understand how they can work better with their own partners? Because sometimes that's a big problem.
Yeah, I mean, we can only help someone as much as they want to be helped, right? I mean, we have plenty of clients that come to us and they're like, this is what I want, these are the workers I need, and that's great. We'll provide them someone from our network, and they take it away the way they want to do it. It's their business. It's not really my job to tell them how to do it. And then I have other clients who come to me because they have an idea or they have an overall goal, but they don't know how to get there, or maybe there are some problems in their company that they need help fixing. And if they want my advice or they want to hire a consultant to help them, we'll give them different options. And at the end of the day, it's still their business and their decision. So we'll help someone as much as they want to be helped.
Well, that's wonderful. And your website is freeup.com with 3 E's.
Yep, the other E stands for e-commerce, although, like I said, we have plenty of non-e-commerce clients.
Oh, that's what the extra E stands for?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really great. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me this afternoon and let people know all the great things that you can do for them in remote hiring and staffing. Thanks very much, Nathan, for being on the show. We really appreciate it. And I hope you have a good weekend. And if anybody is looking for workers, Nathan Hirsch and freeup.com is definitely the right man and the right company to talk to. And I just want to let everybody out there know I wish you a happy holiday weekend. And this is Joel Helfer with another episode of MainStreetMavericks.com.
You've been listening to Main Street Mavericks Radio with Joel Helfer. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit MainStreetMavericks.com.